Ever get this weird feeling like, we're missing some kind of cosmic memo. We're diving into the Fermi paradox today, which, basically says the universe is huge, crazy old, and should be like teeming with life. So where is everybody?
It is a head scratcher for sure. I mean, we've got billions of stars, and that's just in our galaxy alone, and a lot of them, many of them, are far older than our sun, giving, plenty of time for other civilizations to pop up.
Right, like it's like setting up for one of those like big block parties and then realizing, wait a minute, I'm the only one who brought casserole.
Yeah.
So to try and figure this out, we're starting with this stack of articles on the Fermi paradox, including that big one from Wikipedia. I'm ready to unpack this cosmic mystery. Are you?
Oh, absolutely. What gets me is even just the numbers themselves, they boggle the mind. Like, let's just imagine, just for simplicity's sake, that for every, say, 100 stars out there, only one has planets that could even, potentially support life. Thinking about it that way, that still leaves us with billions of potential cradles of civilization.
Okay, I'm already feeling a little insignificant over here,
Yep.
but please keep going.
Well, now imagine, on top of all that, imagine those civilizations had, let's say, a billion-year head start on us.
A billion. Wow.
I mean, a billion years ago, Earth was still, like, figuring out the whole multicellular organism thing,
Right.
And that kind of head start, I mean, that means they'd have had, like, ample time to develop seriously advanced technology, maybe even, interstellar travel. And yet, crickets, no signs of any galactic welcome wagons or anything.
Which brings us to the heart of it all. Enrico Fermi himself. This question, this apparent paradox, just, popped into his head one day. Over lunch, no less.
Yeah, as the story goes, yes. Fermi, I mean, already a renowned physicist, but apparently even geniuses need a lunch break, right?
Right.
They were just tossing around ideas about UFOs, even, get this, a cartoon about aliens stealing trash cans, of all things.
Wait, seriously. Trash can.
Trash cans.
It's kind of hilarious that a question of this magnitude came from like such an everyday conversation.
I know, it just goes to show inspiration can strike anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But Fermi, being Fermi, he didn't just laugh it off, He starts like scribbling calculations, probably on a napkin, and he realizes that even if the odds of intelligent life were incredibly slim, the sheer scale of the universe should mean, statistically speaking, it's happened more than once.
So from a cartoon about pilfered trash cans to a massive cosmic conundrum. Only Fermi. But this isn't just about gut feelings, though, is it? There's actual like math involved here, too, right? Enter the famous Drake equation.
Yeah, the Drake equation. It's less about finding a definitive answer and it's more like a cosmic recipe. It's kind of like listing out all the necessary ingredients, for a detectable civilization.
Yeah.
It considers like the rate of star formation, the number of stars with planetary systems.
Okay, and we're getting pretty good at finding those exoplanets now, right?
Yeah. We are. Every year we discover more and more, which really helps us refine those estimates in the Drake equation. But it's not just about any planets, though, right? They need to be, the right kind.
The habitable zone.
Exactly. That sweet spot where conditions are just right for liquid water. And then even then, on those potentially habitable worlds, did life actually emerge? And then from that, did it evolve into something intelligent?
So many, like, cosmic hurdles to clear. Sounds like the Drake equation is maybe more of a giant question mark than a calculator at this point.
You know what it is? It's more about framing the question. I think it's somebody else that said it, but it helps us organize our ignorance.
Okay.
By figuring out what we don't know, we can get a much clearer picture of what we need to find out,
Okay, I like that. Organize our ignorance. But speaking of hurdles, this brings us to what's often called the great filter. And this is where I'm already kind of sensing this one's a bit of a downer.
Yeah, it is a bit heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
The great filter is basically this idea that somewhere on the path to becoming a truly advanced, spacefaring civilization, there's this hurdle, this challenge that most life, if not all life, fails to overcome.
Okay, so kind of like, I don't know, how the dinosaurs had that whole asteroid situation. Yeah. That was their filter.
Precisely.
Okay.
A dramatic example. But yeah, it gets the point across. The dinosaurs never got a chance to build radio telescopes because of this random, cosmic event. So the great filter makes us ask, are there other filters out there, ones we might not even see coming? Or, and this is the really scary part, or have we already passed the biggest hurdles, which of course would mean somebody else might not have been so lucky.
Okay, now I'm really feeling that cosmic chill.
Okay.
So are we talking about giant asteroids again, or are there other, I don't know, less obvious filters we should be worried about?
Well, the possibilities are, I mean, they're vast. It could be something incredibly powerful, something that would just wipe everything out, like a gamma ray burst, sterilizing an entire planet. Or it could be something way more insidious, something that's like woven into the very fabric of intelligent life itself.
Oh,
What if, by their very nature, intelligent beings develop the means to, destroy themselves?
self-destruct button.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Through things like, oh, I don't know, nuclear war, unchecked technological advancement, or yeah, even something like runaway climate change.
Okay, now this deep dive is hitting a little too close to home.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Is humanity on the verge of hitting our own great filter? Or, and this is a big or, have we already somehow stumbled our way past it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the great filter really, it makes you appreciate just how delicate, how precarious existence really is.
It really does.
But you're right. There are other possibilities out there. Some, thankfully, less ominous. Some actually even more mind-boggling when you really think about them.
Okay, good, because I was about to say, I need a little, like, I don't know, a little bit of cosmic reassurance right now. So walk me through it. What are some of those other, hopefully less terrifying explanations for the Fermi paradox that, that don't involve us getting, like, completely wiped out by some, like, cosmic death ray, or even worse, our own, like, ingenuity?
Right. Well, let's start with probably the simplest one. Maybe Earth really did win the cosmic lottery.
Oh, okay.
And intelligent life really, is just that rare.
So we're talking like 1 in a billion chance here, like finding a diamond buried in, I don't know, a galaxy made of sand.
It's possible. Think back to all those factors we talked about with the Drake equation. Maybe that incredible chain of events that had to happen to lead to intelligent life here on Earth. The right kind of planet, the right conditions for life to even emerge in the first place, the evolutionary leaps from there to complex organisms and then to, intelligence itself. Maybe that entire sequence is, statistically speaking, just insanely improbable.
To the universal scale.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Humbling, to say the least.
Humbling's right. It's like we walk around thinking of ourselves as, like the pinnacle of evolution. And maybe we're really just a cosmic fluke. Okay, so improbable as it might be, what else? What about the idea that civilizations, even the smart ones, are just inherently short-lived? Right. That's another one. And actually, that one's particularly relevant to, our own situation right now, especially after that whole great filter conversation.
Yeah.
It could be that civilizations, once they reach a certain, I don't know, a certain level of technological advancement, that they inevitably develop the means to destroy themselves.
Right. Yeah. We kind of touched on that before, the whole, we could be our own worst enemy thing. But I think our Planetary Society article, it explored this idea from a few other angles, too, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It highlights how our ability to harness energy, which is essential for anti-advanced civilization, that also gives us the power to disrupt ecosystems. Yeah. To deplete resources, maybe even wage war on an unprecedented scale. Yeah.
It's that classic double-edged sword. Makes you wonder if there's a built-in expiration date for technological civilizations.
The cosmic self-destruct button that everyone eventually inevitably hits. Okay, depressing, but I get it. All right, let's move on to some of those possibilities that don't involve us, blowing ourselves up. What about the idea that, and I always like this one, what about the idea that they are out there, the aliens, but they're intentionally keeping quiet?
Ah, yes, the hiding hypothesis.
Yes.
And there are actually a few variations on this theme. One idea is that more advanced civilizations might be intentionally avoiding contact with, with younger, less developed species.
Like us.
Like you, exactly. Out of, well, I don't know, maybe a sense of cosmic etiquette.
Oh, okay. Like a galactic prime directive.
Yes, exactly. Like to avoid interfering with less advanced cultures.
I like that.
I mean, think about it. If we encountered a remote tribe in the Amazon rainforest that had never even, had contact with the outside world, wouldn't we be incredibly cautious about revealing ourselves? I mean, for fear of, disrupting their way of life.
Yeah.
Maybe advanced civilizations, they operate with a similar kind of responsibility, a cosmic version of leave no trace.
It's an intriguing thought. Although, I have to admit, the dark forest theory, That one always kind of sends a shiver down my spine.
I can see why. Yeah, that one's a little more unsettling. That's for sure. That theory basically says that civilizations might be hiding,
Yeah.
but not out of benevolence, out of fear.
Okay, so not Star Trek then.
No.
More like because the universe is a terrifying and dangerous place, and broadcasting your existence is basically what like sending out a cosmic dinner bell to anything out there with, I don't know, an appetite for conquest.
Exactly, yeah. The universe in this scenario, it's like this dark forest where every civilization is like I don't know, like a hunter armed with incredibly advanced technology.
Oh, wow.
And in a situation like that, staying silent, it's not just, it's not just good manners, it's survival. Which makes you wonder about us,
Yeah.
Our WE being too loud.
More chills.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on before I get too spooked. What about the idea that maybe we're just, I don't know, not listening properly?
Ah, yes, the classic we just don't have the right technology hypothesis.
Right.
And it makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. I mean, we've only been actively searching for, extraterrestrial signals for like a blink of an eye, relatively speaking.
Right.
And our technology is, I mean, it's constantly evolving.
So it's like we're trying to pick up a conversation in a crowded room using a tin can telephone. We might be surrounded by all this like alien chatter, but our methods are just too primitive to even detect it.
Yeah, like that's a very apt analogy. And then on top of that, consider this: what if alien civilizations are using forms of communication that we haven't even conceived of yet? We're essentially searching for what we know, right? But what if we don't even know what we're looking for?
Okay, now that is mind-blowing. It's not just about like, I don't know, building bigger telescopes. It's about entirely new ways of like perceiving, understanding the universe.
Right.
So if we're not eavesdropping on radio waves, what else are we doing?
Well, there's this whole growing field of study that's focused on searching for what are called technosignatures, which is it's basically looking for evidence of, technology being used on a massive scale. We talked earlier about Dyson spheres, for example.
Right. The hypothetical megastructure built around an entire star,
Yeah.
which I think our listener might need a little bit of a refresher on that one. What exactly a Dyson sphere, and how would we even begin to look for something like that?
So imagine this, right? A sphere, but like a massive one made of, let's just say, incredibly advanced solar panels. And it's completely encapsulating a star, capturing all its energy on a scale that, honestly, that we can barely even comprehend. It would be like a cosmic power plant, providing energy for, I don't know, for an entire civilization. And while building something that massive seems, almost unfathomable to us, to a civilization that's like millennia ahead, it might be as simple as, I don't know, as simple as us building a hydroelectric dam.
Okay, I take back what I said about the other theories being the ones that keep me up at night, because that's the image that's going to be in my brain all night now. So we're talking about like looking for evidence of truly, truly massive engineering projects, things that would leave a detectable footprint on the universe, even if we can't like actually see the civilization that made it.
Precisely. Think about it. Even if we can't see a campfire directly, we can still see the light it casts, or, I don't know, the smoke rising up.
Right.
And similarly, a sufficiently advanced civilization, something capable of building a Dyson sphere, they might leave behind these telltale signs. It could be in the light being emitted by its star, or even, and this is really wild to think about, or even in the gravitational wobble of the star system itself.
So instead of like desperately searching for needles in a haystack, we're learning to recognize the shape of the haystack itself.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Okay, that is a whole new way of thinking about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
It is, and it's also a really good reminder that we're constantly expanding our understanding of the universe and constantly refining the methods that we use. And, every new discovery, every dead end even, it brings us closer to maybe one day unraveling this whole cosmic mystery.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the mind-boggling scale of the universe to the terrifying possibility of great filters to the, I don't know, maybe slightly more comforting possibility that we're not alone, even if it definitely feels that way sometimes. But I have to ask, I mean, where does all of this leave us? What are we supposed to make of this cosmic silence, this deafening lack of, I don't know, a galactic welcoming committee? It's like we've spent this whole deep dive staring at a giant silent phone, just, I don't know, waiting for it to ring. And it makes you think maybe maybe we're the ones who are supposed to be making the call.
I think that's the beauty of the Fermi paradox. It doesn't really give us any easy answers, but it forces us to really ask these profound questions about everything. It makes us confront our assumptions about our place in the universe. Like, are we special, unique, the only ones, trying to have this conversation, or are we just, I don't know, are we just one voice in a cosmic chorus waiting to find the right frequency?
Okay, yeah. It really is the kind of question that just, I don't know, it sparks the imagination no matter what you believe. I'm curious, though, for you, after this whole deep dive into the Fermi paradox, what sticks with you?
Mm.
Does thinking about all this make you more optimistic about actually finding other civilizations out there, or less so?
It's funny. For me, it's not so much about like optimism or pessimism. It's more, I don't know, I guess it's more about a sense of awe. Just the very fact that we can ask these questions, that we can,
Right.
that we can actually look out at the universe, at the stars and contemplate these possibilities. That in and of itself is remarkable. And who knows, maybe that sense of wonder, that drive to explore, to understand, maybe that's like a universal constant. Maybe that's what ultimately compels any civilization that reaches a certain point to reach out, to
Yeah.
try and, to search for others out there in the darkness.
Wow, that's a really beautiful thought. It's not just about whether or not we're alone. It's about what it means to be a part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And it makes me wonder, I mean, if we did make contact, if someone called us back, what would we even say? What message would like truly represent humanity on a cosmic stage?
No, that is a question for the ages. I
Right.
mean, there's so many different facets to us, to our history, our cultures, our, I don't know, achievements, our failures, right? How do you even begin to like encapsulate all of that into a single message?
I know. Honestly, it's almost easier to imagine just like sending I don't know, time capsule or something, like fill a rocket with, I don't know, some music, some art, maybe some pizza, shoot it off into space in the general direction of like everybody, and just hope for the best.
A cosmic mixtape and a pizza delivery to the stars. I had signed up for that mission. But on a serious note, I think any message that we send, it needs to at least try to convey, our capacity for both great intelligence and hopefully great compassion as well. Maybe a message that really emphasizes our desire to learn, to connect, to really truly understand the universe and our place in it.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe that's that I is the message that's already out there, just rippling across the cosmos even as we speak,
Right.
waiting to be heard by anyone who knows how to listen.
Perhaps, or maybe we are the ones who are meant to receive that message, to
Yeah.
finally decode it from the cosmic static and share it with the world.
Okay, now that is an ending worthy of a deep dive.
Right.
It's enough to, I don't know, to make you want to run out and buy a telescope or at least like download a stargazing app or something. But before we all get too lost in the cosmos, we want to hear from you, our listeners.
Absolutely.
Does thinking about the Fermi paradox, I don't know, does it fill you with a sense of wonder or maybe a touch of existential dread? What message would you send out into the vast expanse of space if you had the chance?
Let us know. Share all your thoughts, your cosmic shout-outs with us on social media using the hashtag DeepDiveFermi. And hey, who knows, maybe, just maybe, your message will be the one that finally gets a response.